This week we are talking about The Women by Kristin Hannah. I have to say that right because I always say it the other way around. Hannah Kristin. This is Kristin Hannah. I'm Jamie Livingston.
And I'm Sarah Lyles, and we are so approachable. All right, you got me.
It's here.
I do say her name is everywhere. So to get me on a historical fiction, here we are.
Yes. I have wanted to do historical fiction because I very much enjoy it. And you have said that it's something that you have never touched. And so I thought I'd get you started with this short, cute book. We're going to Nam, baby.
I mean, I love how you call it cute because there's literally like war scenes on the cover.
Apache helicopter.
Yes. And it's rough. And it's like you said, how many pages?
It's girthy. It's got 480 pages.
That's great. I can't wait. The audiobook on this one is ready and going to come in clutch.
Right. Yeah. So if you need a couple weeks to read this book to catch up with us for our cover-to-cover episode, we don't blame you. It's big. So, listen to this episode and get cranking on it.
If I can do it, they can do it.
Right.
But why did you pick this book?
Okay. So I have read a lot of historical fiction that has to do with World War II. And honestly, Kristin Hannah has probably one of the biggest bestsellers that has to do with World War II. And I haven't read that one. And I really contemplated having us read that one, The Nightingale, because it is so popular and it has the greatest reviews all over the place. Like, I haven't seen a bad review for it. This one, The Nightingale, is from 2014.
Okay.
At
older.
least. So it's a little older. This one is from 2024. So it's her latest book.
Okay.
And so that's really why I wanted to dive into this one, because clearly she's had a lot of success. We're going to talk about some of those successes. But this one is Vietnam, which I know nothing about other than Forrest Gump.
It was war.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that's the extent of my knowledge, and that's one of the reasons I really enjoy historical fiction, because I learn something.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. That's why this one.
All right. Well, you got me. We're going to start in a historical fiction. So tell me a little bit about the book.
All right. Let's go from the basic description back of the book. Women can be heroes. When 20-year-old nursing student Frankie McGrath hears these words, it's a revelation. Raised in the sun-drenched, idyllic world of Southern California and sheltered by her conservative parents, she has always prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 1965, the world is changing, and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve in Vietnam, she joins the Army Nurse Corps and follows his path.
As green and inexperienced as the men sent to Vietnam to fight, Frankie is overwhelmed by the chaos and destruction of war. Each day is a gamble of life and death, hope and betrayal. Friendships run deep and can be shattered in an instant. In war, she meets and becomes one of the lucky, the brave, the broken, and the lost.
But war is just the beginning for Frankie and her veteran friends. The real battle lies in coming home to a changed and divided America, to angry protesters, and to a country that wants to forget Vietnam.
The Woman is the story of one woman gone to war, but it shines a light on all women who put themselves in harm's way and whose sacrifice and commitment to their country has often been forgotten. A novel about deep friendships and bold patriotism. The Women is a richly drawn story with a memorable heroine whose idealism and courage under fire will come to define an era. Wow, that's deep. And like I kind of was telling you, I had a sister who served in the Army and was at war. And so really being able to understand, I mean, obviously wars probably have changed a lot, I think is important for us to, as, women, to appreciate all that have fought for our freedom.
Right. So I'm part of a military family. You have family in the military. So that's one of the reasons why I like these stories, because it really does help put a face to it. Yeah. And I mean, my husband is currently in the military. He was not in the military in the 1960s.
Right.
So, like, very, very different experiences. But I know people who were. I know somebody who suffered from Agent Orange in Vietnam. And so, like, there's a lot of things that I don't really know about what truly happened there.
Right.
So I'm excited to get into this one. It's very different from all of the historical fiction that I've read. And so, I mean, it'll be completely different for you as well.
Well, the only thing I think that overwhelms me about historical fiction is how heavy and deep it could be, because it's not just a fiction you walk away going, wow, that was deep, that was sad. It's like, wow, that was deep and sad, and that happened.
It happened, right?
I think that's what kind of makes me go, oh, like tread lightly, because there's already so much wrong in the world. And so to think that all this happened is really sad.
Well, I think that that is a good reminder for anybody who is not big on historical fiction. This is not real. This is heavily researched. So the author goes in and looks at accounts, personal witnesses, accounts, people who were there, boots on the ground, and hears their stories and kind of weaves them together with a different storyline. So some people ask, is it based on a true story? Well, it's based on a true war. It's based on a true situation, but the characters, these are not real people.
Right.
So whatever happens to them, like, I just think it's a really good, like, image of what went down.
Right.
But this is not actual biography.
Right. It's not a true nonfiction of this is what an account or this was a diary of someone's life.
So this is still fictional. So it doesn't have to be super heavy. And I think we'll see some of that in the reviews that I found, that it may be more of a soap opera than a biography, but we'll see.
Hey, I mean, you got to bring a little entertainment into fiction books, I guess.
Right.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the author.
Kristin Hannah is the award-winning and best-selling author of more than 20 novels, holy smokes, and the international blockbuster The Nightingale, which was named Goodreads' Best Historical Fiction Novel for 2015. It won the coveted People's Choice Award for Best Fiction. It was named a Best Book of the Year by Amazon, iTunes, BuzzFeed, Wall Street Journal, Paste, and The Week. There are a lot of accolades for that book. And then several of the books since then. The Great Alone was a #1 bestseller. The Four Winds is another popular one, and I think that one is The Depression. I don't know. I checked that one out once because I saw everybody reading it, and I had the audiobook, and I pressed play on it and listened to the first sentence and was like, whoop, not ready for that, because it was a southern drawl, and she was talking this slow, and I was like, I'll come back to you someday. So
3 times speed.
Right. Not happening at this time.
I think the only thing that I have known kind of about her is Firefly Lane. I've seen the show on Netflix. It was a good show. I really enjoyed that show. And I know it's based off one of her books. So It was good. It was really good.
I know nothing about that one. Is that set in America, or like what time period?
I don't think it was like an old time period. Like, it was Katherine Heigl, good name, like it wasn't like old historic.
Not the Depression, not the Dust Bowl.
Right. So like it was just.
So maybe whatever The Great Alone is? Or is I guess.
I'm guessing.
Oh, Firefly Lane is its own book.
Yes.
But, okay.
It's her own book, so it's the show based upon that book. But yeah, it was good. Yeah, I recommend that if you enjoy it. I mean, it's an older show. I mean, but I enjoyed it.
I will say that for fans of The Nightingale, the movie is coming out in 2027. And I've seen a lot of fuss about this one because I think they're in the process right now, or they just casted this, and it's got Dakota and Elle Fanning because it covers 2 sisters who are nurses in France, I believe, during World War II. And so, I mean, I think that from what I've read of those reviews, that seems like really good casting.
I mean, I think it's exciting for me to like go, okay, well, it's got to be popular to a lot of people.
Right.
This is a great unknown for me.
All right. Well, I will say that when I was looking up her ratings and reviews, this book gets a 4.6.
Wow. And that's like over
Right?
1 million.
And every one of her books is the same range. Like the Nightingale is a 4.66 or a 4.8. It was way up there.
And it was just as long as this book, if not longer.
Right? Super good. And these other books, Four Winds, like everything was at least a 4.2 or up. So like she is crushing it in the author game.
No kidding. That's great. All right. So you found a 4.6. Give me a 5-star review.
I have a 5-star review from Emily Booked Up. Easiest 5 stars ever. It will be nearly impossible for readers to not love this book. Kristin Hannah is back, and she has done it again. And to answer everyone's questions to me so far, The Nightingale is my fave book of all time and therefore my favorite Kristin Hannah book, but The Women is right beside it.
Wow. That sounds
exciting.
It sounds good.
Yeah. What about you?
I have one from Sydney, 5 stars. Those who know me understand that reading is a profound passion, and Kristin Hannah is a beloved author whose works I've cherished for years. Her historical fiction novels spanning the 90s to present demonstrate an unwavering excellence. The Women, her latest release, recounts the powerful tale of young nurses' 2 tours in Vietnam. This book's impact has been profound, cementing in place among of all-time favorites. The depth of emotion it evokes from like sorrow to heartbreak underscores Hannah's remarkable skill, leaving me eager to rediscover The Women anew. 100,000 out of 10 stars.
Wow. Okay, that's a little excessive. 100,000.
I mean, I was like, all right.
Okay. Well, I do have kind of the flip side of that. I found a 1-star review from Sonia, and she said, I wanted to like this book. Honestly, a wartime historical fiction that isn't about World War II? Sign me up. Make it about the women? I won't even wait for it on Libby. Take my money. Except I hated it. Which feels like the way that I'm going about this, because I'm excited that it's historical fiction that's teaching me about a new war, and it's about the women, kind of an undiscovered side of that. I think that's why a lot of people liked The Nightingale, because it's about the women, it's about the nurses, and in war, we don't hear a lot about the women. So
it's funny. I laugh because your reviews are nice and short. I had the hardest time.
They were hard.
Whenever people wrote reviews about this book, they had a lot to say about it. And so it wasn't like I hated it, done, end of story. And so people really spent a lot of time reading this book and digesting this book. So I will just say to find, which I mostly found 5 reviews. It wasn't even like 4 reviews. It was like 68% were 5-star reviews. They were big and long and drawn out reviews.
Yes.
So even my 1 star coming from Donna, nothing more than a romance novel, very one-dimensional. Since I heard so much high praise for this book, including picked by Amazon and others as one of the best of the year, I couldn't understand what they liked. Once into the book, it felt so contrived. How could so many terrible things happen to one person? By the time her... hope that's not a spoiler. I was pretty much done. Skimmed through the rest of the book. Not worth reading. I was glad to see that many felt like I did. A total contrived book. Little more skeptical now, and was with the so-called best book of the year. Oh.
Okay. Yep. I always question, though, when people then say that they skimmed through it and, like, you didn't maybe get the whole picture. I mean, it is a massive book. But to leave that, like, what is the word I'm looking for? Just, like, that hefty of a review and to not have actually read the book.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, I have learned since we started this podcast, there is a difference between skimming through a book and actually feeling the book, trying to relate to the book, and understanding the book. Some books that we've read that I might have just skimmed through and been like, I hated that. But then when I was able to understand the storyline and actually read the book, it made a difference of how I felt walking away from the book. So it doesn't do it due diligence.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so my question for you, especially because this is our first historical fiction, how do you feel about history? Was it a subject you enjoyed in school? Is it something that you tolerated?
I think I liked it because I liked my teachers. I had good history teachers. Again, I feel that makes a huge difference if they're excited about the subject. I don't feel like I was super drawn into history. School was so hard for me, and I had to understand a lot of things that were not like, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, why does this relate to me? But as I grow and become an adult, I start to understand how we got there because of things that happened in our history. And so I start to appreciate history the older I get, having kids, starting to be like, oh, we should be so thankful because of all this, like these wars that went on. So growing up, could have left it. I studied hard to make the A or B, maybe even a C, but I now can look at history and go, thank you all for your service, and thank you for, all we've been through. What about you?
I struggled so hard with history. I'm not a numbers and dates person, and that's a lot of what it is. And so I think that's why I'm really drawn to historical fiction, because it's actually, like I said, putting a face to those names and dates and showing the impact. Because I think for tests and quizzes, you just had to remember, like, so-and-so did this on this date and, like, this many people died. But when you're actually reading their stories and, like, people are running from bombs and people are being injured, and, like, there's so much more to it that really sets you into history. You are plopped right down into it. And I feel like I wish we could have used that more to learn. I'm sure that we did to a certain extent, but as somebody who has worked in the news industry and is completely wrapped up in current events, I'm excited now to like play Trivial Pursuit when I'm older because I'll actually know the history questions because I'm paying attention. I honestly wish that I could just sit in on like a high school history class for a semester. I think I would actually learn and retain so much of it now that I'm like removed, like I'm older and wiser.
Well, you're not doing it just to pass the test.
Right. And I don't know how to convey that to my children or my students. Like there's got to be a way, like, man, I wish I were you right now. I know that sounds ridiculous because I hated that class when I sat in there, but I'm telling you, like, you're going to wish that you knew this stuff. There's so much that I don't know. And I feel like if I just sat in on one of those classes, I would know everything.
Right. It's like that old self that you want to look back and be like, I just listen. Just pay attention.
Just read the Scarlet Letter for real this time, Sarah.
You don't add that to our TBR, okay?
Yeah, maybe not. I just, like, there's so much in history that actually does make sense and is important. And so I think that's why, like I said, I'm drawn to this book to learn about a war that I don't remember learning about whatsoever. All I know is life is like a box of chocolates. Like, that's what I know about Vietnam.
All right.
Like, that's the only thing I can remember.
My grandfather was there, so I don't know because he didn't share a lot of it, but I mean.
Well, and I think that we talked about that they're going to come home from war and they're going to have to experience all of the chaos that was happening, the uprising and the unrest regarding Vietnam. And I think that translates really well to our current political climate. It's not necessarily about war right now, but just everybody at each other and who hates who. And I think that this book will kind of shed a little light on that, and maybe we should learn from history.
Yeah. Sounds depressing.
I think it'll be great.
Well, and our reviews make me think like it's more than just a bogged down heavy history class.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. All of the historical fiction I've read, you're making friends and you're experiencing life. It's not just like bombs and doom. You'll be fine.
All right. Well, on that note, keep reading.
Keep ranting.
And remember, you're so approachable.
Okay, the episode is over. Get reading.
But before you go, like, review, and subscribe.
Turn on notifications to get the alert when the full episode drops.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're reading next and join the conversation.
We're so excited to have you on board.
2 minutes before we started recording, I didn't remember anything in the book.
Well, and then we started talking. You're like, okay, I'm remembering.
Yes, it's all coming back to me now.